recording so we can respect your time. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It is Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. I can't even believe it's October. I don't even know what's happening. I may or may not have already put Christmas tree tabletops on the front room buffet hutch thing, possibly. They're not intentionally decorated, but I went shopping and I had to lay them all out so I could see them. Ooh. So that is my reason. So I'm not going to run through numbers for our group because we actually had invited a bunch of other people on for this call for Lisa. And last minute, her husband had this excruciating tooth problem that had to run into the ER to get some tests run to see if they could give him some relief tonight. And so she is in California, I believe. So it's a little bit earlier and it was going to be right around the same time. And so we just rescheduled it for next week. There's no emergency on our part. Take care of her husband and let her do that with no worries. So we are excited to reschedule that for next week. But what we decided to talk about tonight is sponsoring. We have so many of these leaders that took advantage of a very short notice, I would say, but thankfully you got in. It was called Let's Freaking Sponsor /Recruit. It was a 31-day commitment where you can't miss a day of the easy homework. It makes you be intentional in work. So we have leaders that are and consultants that are in this group called Let's Freaking Sponsor. So if you're participating in that program, raise your hand or clap. Oh, good. Cassandra's in it. I love it. I know Jennifer's part of it. Way to go. Way to step up and try to do it. Have you had any results so far? What have you seen from being in that program? Anybody want to share real quick?
I'll share something if someone else doesn't.
Sure. Yeah.
So I will say I have not gotten a recruit yet, but I did get 2 new PWS orders from sending out emails, because one of the challenges, if you know, was an email to be sent out. And I know that it was from that email because they have not shopped with me in quite a while. And I was like, interesting, because yeah. So anyway, I'm pretty sure I got at least 2 new orders from it.
That's awesome. Who else want to share from the program? Anybody want to say how it's happening? What's been going on?
Caitlin has her hand raised. I don't know if she means to or
is it raising because she is doing the program or just excited to be here?
I'm not sure. I just was checking.
Oh, she lowered it. Okay, that's all right. Well, Caitlin, feel free to unmute if you want to, girl. You're fine. And I'm a bystander in the program because I'm actually doing something else. I'm trying to be more intentional working with my team on those that are trying to promote to the next level. So I've got my mind and time and energy in a different area, but I'm there watching and still reading and learning. And I'm so excited to see what happens. I was letting one of my my new recruits I was just on the phone with her before this call. And I have to share with you how I met her. I do a fundraiser at my husband's school every year for the NJROTC. And her daughter graduated a couple years ago and reached out to her daughter. And they loved it. All her coworkers were like, oh, I love these candle things. They were always buying from the fundraiser. Well, it's been a couple of years and she's like, how can I get in touch with Chief's wife? Well, they hadn't messaged, but she had gone to one of the warmers and my label was on the bottom of the warmer. And so she called me today and she is joining our Cincy family. She just joined. My husband's actually on the phone with her now. But you just never know. Here that was from a couple of years ago. And using the products and loving it, and then finally realizing, gosh, my family and friends love this too. Why don't I just do this? It goes to show you that not everybody gets into this for the money or the reasons why, but to be able to be accessible, create your brand where you have your breadcrumb trail back to you, where they can find you. It's very, very important. especially for those people you don't necessarily have a relationship with yet. Like with Naz, I'm going to get to know her very well. I sent her a friend request on Facebook, but we didn't have that relationship set up on social media. And after yesterday's social media scare, it really does make you think, what do you have in place for your business to build relationships other than social media? We really use that platform a lot. And so I want you to be aware of that as well. How are you meeting and nurturing relationships with people outside of social media? Keep that in mind. Is it handwritten thank you cards? Is it touch points? We do our monthly mailers every single month where it's a touch point and a fragrance in everybody's mailbox. So
Okay, I've got this needle.
what are you doing in your business to get in front of people other than social media? I think it's very important to figure out ways how you can do that. So tonight we are going to be talking about sponsoring. I want to open your eyes a little bit because you do have to use social media a lot, but it needs to be non-Scentsy related. When you are commenting on people's things, don't talk Scentsy all the time, 24/7. You want to comment on real life things. You create that relationship with people where you're not asking for something. You're not looking desperate, like I'm trying to meet my goal. Everybody hates me. They're not buying from me. That doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for your business, and it doesn't look good for our company. So you want to make sure whatever message you're sending is professional and it is relating to people. It's great to let people know that you have a goal, but not out of desperation. I'm doing big things in my business this month. I cannot wait to earn level 3 of the incentive. I'm working so hard for a trip for 2 for me and my husband to go to Alaska, right? Like, let people know that you are working hard towards a goal, but it doesn't have to be out of desperation. Thanks, babe.
Okay.
He just got off the phone with Nas. I think that's so great. Like, it is a family business, right? Okay. I'm having trouble getting in the Zoom call. All right, let me post. Sorry, Jamie, do you want to add anything while I send an invite real quick?
I was just going to say, kind of along with what Heather's saying, which I know she'll probably talk about this a lot, but I don't want to ever pretend like I know it all, because I feel like I'm learning stuff all the time. And being in these new groups and hearing from new leaders and whatever, it's always eye-opening. And it is amazing what some of these challenges, whether you're in the group or not, whether with your leader, whoever gives you a challenge, it's amazing what that will do. She challenged to send an email, which I'm going to be honest, I think I was about to say 25 years. Nope, almost 15 years. Don't think I've ever sat down and devoted an email to just possible join people who basically like a running list of those who might want to join. And I did that. And it was kind of scary for me. But you know what it also did? It was like, why don't I always have a list of those who might want to join? Why don't I always have a list? I mean, I know you hear us say it all the time. I know Heather's pointing behind
That's
her.
my list right there in that corner.
But when I hear it, but like actually putting it in and doing the task and typing it in and putting together the email and sending it out, I was like, tell me again, Jamie, why you haven't always done this? Because you know what, if they opened the email and went along, then they did. Guess what? I just told you I got 2 PWS orders. At least they still shopped. I lost nothing by sending them that email. So for me, I'm already like, okay, I will keep that running list. Not only will I have their name, I will have their email and their phone number. I will collect all the information that's so vital that we talk about. I will keep that so that whether it's old school email, old school text, a project broadcast, a certain kind of email system, I will have it so that I can implement it no matter which way I decide to do it. Because that was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little empowering. I was like proud of myself. I was like, I did that. I didn't get anything other that I know of yet, but that was empowering. That was a big moment for me to actually send that email and ask someone to join.
And did you think you had hesitation before you did it? Like, oh my gosh, what are they going to think? Is this spammy? Am I being spammy? Like, did you think that?
If you want to know, I thought about it all day and I almost wasn't going to do it. I was like, nope, I've got a million other reasons. And then finally I went, sat down and I was like, and I did, I really thought, I am one of those people that will overthink the words. So I love when other people don't mind sharing their words. I may not do it exactly because I do want it to sound like me. But Heather, I was like, I don't want it to be spammy. I want it to sound like it's me. I don't want it, I had a little bit of nervous, but after I reread it, I was like, I feel 100% okay sending this. Like,
Right.
if they delete it, if they don't do anything with it, what do I have to lose, honestly?
Right.
So it was.
And how many emails do you get a day that's literally junk?
Oh, 50 million a
Now,
junk.
are you super pissed off when you get a junk email?
I delete or I unsubscribe. Super.
Right. Like, are we really like thinking it's that personal?
Right. And I know that she has said in the future there will be some texts that are sent out too, but she focused on email. And so for me, it was less scary to do an email instead of text. So I know that's coming, but it was still like I said, I was like, why do I not have this list already going? Why did it take this? So.
And it's that, listen, what year was that Mel Robbins? We had her when it was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, act. Like you just do it. You count down in your head. There's something very powerful about counting down when you have a daunting task or trying to eat that frog. My most daunting task I do when I first wake up. You know why? Because I get the hardest thing out of my day done first. And then I can feel like I can accomplish the world after that. Like it is. And it literally is, if you just stop and you'll count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it, hit send, and be done. It really is a game changer in your business. Okay, speaking of, JP brought up a really great point about collecting customers' information. And if you're new and just joining us, I highlight everything on my order forms that I want collected. It is very important that you don't take shortcuts when collecting customers' information or inputting orders. Shortcuts create disasters and problems, and it hurts your business in the long run. Shortcut is not a good thing, right? I mean, I guess even if you're walking around the block and you're like rounding the quarters, no, that's not a good thing. You need the extra steps. Don't do shortcuts, right? So this is not a good thing. Don't combine people's orders into one shopping cart. You legitimately want the customer's cart, their items in their cart, so you can keep track of customer orders, and a really awesome tool that I'm going to show you tonight on how you're going to reach out to these customers like Jamie is talking about. And it's one of the reporting tabs. So make sure that you are, and keep receipts at all times, just so you have them. I keep a stack right here in my desk, in my car, because you never know when someone reaches out to you and they want to place an order. And one of the biggest tips I think someone ever told me is they actually went to Avery.com and created a label, and they'd stick it on the bottom of their order forms on things to remember. So these are some things I would probably put on a label, and I'll ask Jamie to see what she would put until you create the habit, right? First of all, I want their name, address, phone number, email. I want to know on my little label that I would stick here, did I offer them a shopping link? Did I offer them to get their products for free or half price? Because every person that comes to me, I'm going to try to turn it into a party or use the word shopping link. That way I'm making it more than what it is. You take the order, it's done, nothing else. You got to go back square one, trying to collect an order again tomorrow. Chasing orders is a snail's pace at trying to get to your ultimate goal. You should not be just taking orders and not offering to get this for free or half price. You are doing a disservice to your business if you are not asking them to do a party every time someone orders. Every time someone orders, you are doing a disservice also if you do not say, would you like to get paid on your purchases? Would you like to get 20 to 25% back? You've got to create these habits. So these are little things that you could come back, and you don't have to do them all at once. You don't have to have vomit of the mouth and taking the person's order for 2 6-pack of bars. Hey, have you ever thought about getting this for free or half price? No, I think I'm good right now. Okay, would you like me to set up a shopping link on my website? Because you can have it up there for 85 days. I tell them 85 instead of 90. For almost 3 months, if you spend over $200, we can cash in some rewards for you. Oh, sure, I'd love to. Now they want the shopping link. So it's 2 times that I asked, and then maybe revisit it after you send a thank you note for the online order. girl, if you're already spending $200, that's all you have to spend in a 12-month period. You would have already had X amount of dollars back in your pocket, right? So there's a process to it. It doesn't have to be all at once, but keep track of your order forms or use the binder system where you're moving the order form in a binder. It's like the what is it called? The like dividers of pockets, and they literally move the order form from space to space to space.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah, it's some follow-up system that somebody did that was incredible.
Yeah, it was a follow-up, and it's the half size sheets. I think it's called like a A or a B letter to a.
And how many, do you remember how many there were in slots where they passed it to? It
was, yeah, I think the first one was if they were collecting orders, like if they were doing a bulk order, so they would have like pending orders to do. Then when they placed the order, then it moved to the thing to follow up to be able to piece together their order and put their carbon copy in there. Then from there it moved to delivered, and then it was like a 2-week follow-up, a 2-day, a 2-week, the 2-2-2 one, 2-day, 2-week, and 2 months.
Okay.
Touch back with the people.
So I would probably add in there offer shopping link, or offer free or half price, offer shopping link, offer join in my 222 binder. That's a really great way to make sure you're doing it. And you can't move the paper until you do it. Unless you just are like me and just do a little label and you can do a checkbox. I did that for the longest time. I put labels on mine. Anything else that y'all would put on your order form to make sure you do or get in the habit of doing? I did a little upsell. I would put, do you want to add any replacement light bulbs to your order?
That was the only thing I was going to say, was something about an upsell or club, you know.
Oh, club. That's a good one.
The other thing I was going to say is, and it's so funny because Heather just asked me this the other day, but she asked me if I use drawing slips.
I did.
And here's what's funny. I told her, no, not really. But that's ever since then, she planted something, because I'm like, those are very handy, like when you're working an event and maybe they're not necessarily placing an order. Maybe they're asking a question. Maybe they're looking for a retired scent, whatever it may be, right? Maybe they're not necessarily making that purchase. That's a real quick, easy piece of paper to still collect all their information. It's so funny that I told her that I don't use them. Maybe it's
you did tell me no.
Maybe it's because I haven't done events in 1,000 years, but I used to do them all the time. But that's what I use all the time, because then when people would come in and visit, like you have a conversation, I would then flip over their drawing slip and put, she had on cheetah tights, her 2-year-old daughter I put all these notes so that when I did reach out for her, I would like be able to actually visualize and remember her. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you want to do that on your necessarily your order forms, but I like to put little notes at events so that I can remember who I'm talking to and what about, because as y'all know, if you've done events, you get a lot of people who come in looking for discontinued scents.
Yes.
And I always take their name, but now that we have the club, I want to be able to tell them about the club and be like, let me get your information so that when it comes back, or when it's voting time, I can let you know it's time to vote. That way, when it does come back, you can set up a club. Then it can also lead to, or sign up, or however you want to word it, and you can know firsthand, same time as I do, and get right in on that club, that forever club. So that would be something I think I would say, Heather, is just maybe add the club. Any upselling, obviously.
Well, I think that's smart that you brought up a really good point, because people always, I mean, how many of you have had somebody say, hey, do you have this bar? Like they're looking for a retired scent. That is the easiest way to collect people's information. Every time they ask it, even if I know I can't get it, I go, you know what, girl, let me get your info. And I will put you on my list. I'm going to try to ask my whole group if I can find you some. And if I do, I'll let you know. But if it ever comes back, I'll call you also. It's the easiest way to just slide in there and get all the info that you want.
100%.
I have to share a little story.
Yeah.
So at an event, there was this guy who came up and he was a realtor, and all he liked were the lemon scents. Like that's all he wanted. So I had saved his number in Amy, and every time it would come up, I would message him and he never replied back. I'm like, okay, whatever. Well, he must have gotten somehow gathered in on one of my project broadcast past things, because I was segmenting people out. And I had done a blast at the end or at September 1st. So it was either the end of August or September 1st. And he placed an order. And this guy I met literally 4 years ago. And I tell him about the bring back. He didn't even order any lemon scents. Obviously, there's no lemon scents in September. But that much later, he finally ordered.
That's like, and that much time had gone by where you probably thought he was done.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know he was on one of my message lists.
But see, that shows the initiative of you. Like you took the initiative to chase after him, whereas most people would have like, oh no, he's not, we're not doing anything.
Well, and the other thing, like right along with that and with events, like she said, and if you start doing the same events, you'll see the same people and you'll start even remembering, oh yeah, this one was the one that loved, toffee scents, or this is the one that really loved the pine scents. And when they see that you don't have just 6 this time, you've got 18, they're like, she remembered. Like you really will. What's crazy is you'll remember these things without even because I don't consider myself a great memory, but I will remember those types of things. And that's impressive to your customers. And they're like, like you said, I have people that I will see once a year at that event every time. And they are so impressed because I remember it. But like you said, you never know when they're going to come back. And they're always impressed if you remember or some way to help them get the scents that they love.
Well, and I think while we're on the topic of events, I have people that wait until I do the event again, which is 1 year later, to come get their bars. How many of those people do you have where they only order the once a year and they stock up? It's like, oh, I've got so many bars. And you're thinking, how does that 12 last you a year? You were thinking that, right? But let me tell you, these are the people that you should be saying, would you like to get 20, 25% back on your purchases? They are not regular customers for you. They are a one-time, once a year people or twice a year people. These are the people that you should be pitching the opportunity to them, either the $99 join, or we all know there's the host exclusive starter kit. This is Earn a Kit. It's $59. It's a way smaller kit, but you use that kit and redeem it using your host credit, meaning every $200 in orders that you've got, you have a kit available to offer to someone. And in this class, they're saying, I have a kit that I would love to bless somebody with, right? It's all in how you're wording it and offering it to people. Now, just keep that in mind. If it's the $59 is taken out of the host credit. So if there's not enough, you will just pay the difference of whatever that is. So it could be a $30 kit. It could be a $12 kit. It is, there's some of them that can't get on. I don't know what's going on with the link. I just sent it to her too. So keep that in mind. Every $200 that's sitting on the table that you've got to submit, you better find somebody on that working list, send out those emails, go through your order history. Who are the last people that have placed an order from you in the last year? Do you even know how to find that?
Well, and on that note, while she's saying that, and I am trying to remember this too, if your person you're offering it to, because if you're like me, we have some people that just want to buy, and that's okay. Hey, Brittany, I want to offer you this. You buy from me like nonstop. And she responds, no, girl, I just want to buy from you. Well, do you know anyone in your circle that could benefit from this opportunity? And you can still support her. Like that's another, so that because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to buy from you. No, if you support her, then you support me. It's just having that conversation and creating a little FOMO. Well, if you don't, do you know anybody who might?
Yes.
And they may say no. But you at least asked. Yep,
you have to ask. And I'd also keep in mind too, if they want to just be great customers or hosts, then let them be. You don't want to convince someone to be on your team just to have a number, because a number doesn't mean that they're working. It's quality, not quantity at this point. If they're spending a lot of money with you, then sure, offer the opportunity. But you can't just be trying to convince people to sign up, because it's not going to last. It maybe get you through 1 month of what you're trying to do, but you can't sustain that. And if you're not getting paid at title, we need to double your numbers to where you can sustain it and are paid at your title every single month. Because what's the point of promoting to a title if you're not getting the leadership bonus and getting paid from it? You did all that work for nothing. You could have spent your time and energy doing other things. And everybody is so focused, driven on sales, where if you do that mind shift to where you're offering the opportunity to more people, it's going to change your business. But you've got to be so intentional with what you're leading with. I've seen way too many people doing hopeful posting and posting on social media and waiting for people to bite. That is the worst business plan that you could possibly be doing. It could be the little nuts and cherry and whipped cream, but how many advertisements do you see, or you're scrolling through a reel where you're buying everything that you're seeing? You don't. So keep that in mind. Go ahead, Jamie.
I was going to say, Facebook world crashed yesterday. While it was kind of a nice little reprieve, I got a ton done. When it rebooted back up, I'm in another group for another direct sales. And she said, well, what did everyone do while Facebook was down? And I did this. And I said, Facebook is a wonderful for a reason, but it is not my I do. Oh,
it's coming back.
Am I back?
You're back.
Great. Sorry. I was just going to say, there was a couple of customers, I don't have their phone numbers, and I was waiting to message them on Facebook. And while it was down, I was like, I can't. So do not hold all your eggs in one basket, people. Do not rely on the Facebook world. Make sure you have a whole other thing going on, that is not the only system you have, because when it crashes like it does yesterday, you're up a creek.
She means shit creek. She just won't say it. I'll say it. Okay. She's the good one of the group. I'm the bad apple over here. Okay. Speaking of your PWS, your brand, your marketing, does it have your picture of it, or do you have a warmer? No, people aren't going to relate to a warmer. You need to put your face up there. Your face is your brand, your story. Why did you decide to join Cincy? And so keep that in mind. You've got to make sure your website, people want to scroll and click and read and engage and get to know you. You have to have that on there. So that's your homework assignment tonight, is to go through your PWS and make sure it is legit and up to par, like you were running a business and not a garage sale every 6 months. Okay, so keep that in mind, where it looks good. People can get to know you also.
Erin just asked a question, and I was gonna, she said, what do you guys say to those who are upfront about wanting the kit, but not really wanting to make a business out of it? So I'm going to tell you, if someone's wanting to sign up, I'm not going to talk them out of signing up, because when I signed up, that was it. I was like, I'm going to sign up, but really I'm not building a business. It's a cool product. And here I am 15 years later. So you never know that those who are just wanting to sign up for the fun of it, something may take hold for them, maybe not immediately. And it may not even happen within the first year. It took me a whole year to get my first recruit, because I didn't see the potential. So Erin, I would say, I would only persuade them of the fun, the community, how much support that they will have. And if that's what they want to do, that you support them. But if she decides she wants more in the future, to please have that open conversation. I definitely would never talk someone out of it just because they didn't want to build a career out of it. And I'm assuming that's what you were asking, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, if they are interested in doing, getting just the discount, and I know that they legitimately spend $200 in a calendar year, sure, go ahead and join. Because here's the deal. You're always going to get more sales. I don't care who you are, and you may not be a 2,000 PRV person a month. Everybody starts off with that very slow business, and you build it up, that customer base, through really good customer service and loyalty. I can get 2,000 in sales with zero follow-up, and this is not to brag, zero follow-up, me doing nothing, posting on social media. That's why they see a lot of leaders. You see people like us posting something and all these people are responding, because it took 12 years of customer loyalty for them to do that. So when I have 8,000 PRV in a month from doing zero home parties, and it's baskets and intentional follow-up, mailers, samples, that's where it's coming from. But you can't start out like that. You have to start out by Parties, number one, that's the easiest, fastest way we still go to. Party, party, party. I'm going to tell you that till I'm blue in the face, because that's the fastest way where you can be meeting new people. You're getting in front of people, expanding your business, your clientele base, having people place orders, flipping hostesses, and getting those recruits. It's the perfect storm, if you will. It's the easiest way to build this business the right way. If you have someone that is hesitant, then tell them, you know what? It may not be okay. You may be better off a better hostess for me. I spoil those people just as good, and that's okay.
I know that's a common question I think people ask is, oh, if I sign her up, then I'm going to lose all these sales.
No.
And I can see why that might make you a little nervous, because I'm sure at some point in my career, I have felt that too with different people. But like Heather just said, I would have to say the majority of my career, I've never had like a consistent follow-up, and not to brag either. Now my numbers aren't what Heather's, but I never missed my 2000 ever. And I never have a problem with sales. And I would much rather give my new recruit the opportunity to build a successful business, because I've been doing this. I know how to find new people. I know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to do that. I have a list. She doesn't. She's starting fresh. So I'd rather give her that part. Am I cutting out again?
No, you're back.
Okay, great. Sorry. Just if she's a great hostess and she's worked somewhere where their people are always ordering, don't look at that as a loss. Look at it as that is she's gaining a successful business from the get-go. So get that out of your brain and don't let your team members think that.
Yeah, Melissa, go ahead.
I want to say too, I've had a couple of teammates that had someone host a party. They offered them the opportunity and they were discouraged when they didn't sign up. And they, the person, whether it was fear or whatever, but a month or two later, they saw like the seed was planted, and then they saw like, I should do this. And then they signed up and, decided like they already had their VIP group because they still had the party going on or whatnot, like that group set up, and they did really well. And so I try to just tell my teammates, like, if you see this is consistently happening, then maybe try planting the seed sooner so they can keep it in mind as you're going through the whole party, as opposed to at the very end, like word vomiting on them, like, you have 300 in rewards. Do you want to join for $29 and stuff, and just kind of being more intentional. But if someone says no in the beginning, it doesn't mean that it's a no forever, because they might have FOMO and decide later on.
It's true. I'd like if everybody would put in the chat really short, why did you join? What was the reason you joined? I'd love to see everybody's reasons, because I joined for money. And so I think it's important to remember and know not everyone joined for the same reason as you. So it's very easy for you to talk about your join language of why you joined, but you have to remember there's other reasons why people join this business. Is it to make friends, to have adult time? Is it to have travel, discount on products, be part of something bigger than what they are every day in their home, right? Like, it's a lot of different things. Or like today, my new recruit, Naz, she joined because of a fundraiser, fell in love with the products, and all of her people around her were asking where they could get more. And she's like, well, I might as well do this, right? So it was an influence of circle of people around her where she decided, I love this product. I think I could do this, and called and asked questions. And here she is, just signed up. So you just never know what your reasons are. So scroll through that chat, jot them down, because it might be a great way for you to put some things on your little story or join postcard, because you have to make sure you're putting little nuggets, whether it's the opportunity brochure from the family store. Are you putting these in every order? Or do you have a little postcard? I got mine printed at Print Runner. I put them in every order. I want to make sure, I don't care if it's every single time. Eventually, maybe it's like Jamie said, maybe they'll give it to somebody that they think of. One of my recruits from our networking group here in Pearland, she's never done anything with it. It really wasn't for her. She was just signing up to get the discount, but she sponsored Kathy Browning, who you all know. I love Kathy. And she has taken off like a rock star and like has 8 or 9 people or 11 or 13 people on her team now. And it led her to this business. So it's not about who you're directly sponsoring, but it is who could eventually be some of your rock star leaders.
Mandy asked a question a second ago, and I just didn't want it to get lost. She said, what are some of the first steps you do once they decide to join? I don't want to go into too much depth, but I know that Heather and I, because we do Zoom daily pretty much, we have a lot of the same systems in place with the Google site, with the launch, like the biggest thing I would tell you is to not get overwhelmed with spewing every little thing to them from the get-go. Get the right tools in their hands and have one-on-one conversation. If you're trying to do it all through text or all through Messenger and never having a voice conversation with them, you're losing that connection with them and really letting them hear the excitement and knowing what they want from it. So I would say get to know them, talk to them and see what they're wanting, and make sure they're on the training calls, make sure they're present. I mean, I know that sounds super basic, but for me, when I finally got like the Google sites and I've kind of got things a little more streamlined, I was overthinking and I was trying to put too much in their plate at once. And now that I've kind of streamlined it and simplified it, that's way, way easier for me to help get them in the right direction, if that makes sense.
And I think too, getting them on the training calls and the Zoom and get them present, get them connected, that is the best thing that you can do for any new team member. And you set the expectations of, we do training every Tuesday and Thursday, period. Like you let them know this is what we do. The people that are more engaged in their business and are connecting are way more successful than those that are not. And I'll tell you what happens. People are all gung-ho in the beginning and excited. You need to utilize that. Get them in and let them see what this is and the opportunity. The people, they sit back and fizzle out, because once you miss one meeting, 1 week, you miss a second, you miss a third. It's very hard to get your foot back in, so to speak, and get all gung-ho again. It's very difficult. And so what I personally do is I do the launch party for them. I'll do everything. I want them to see what it is like a hostess, what hostess coaching looks like as if they're going through it. And I do their launch party for them. And because here's the deal. You don't need to worry about anything else. All you need to worry about is having them hit their shooting star by a launch party, number one. Number two, the next thing is getting them certified, right? That's the next in line. What do you have to do to get them certified? The next thing after that is, who are we going to sponsor first? Who's your closest circle? Everybody has those girlfriends or guy friends, so you can call them and say, hey, do this with me. They all have somebody that they know that would join right away. And that helps them getting towards sensational start, right? Because you earn sensational start by sales and sponsoring. So it's a natural progression. And if you just keep working towards the next level of the promotion, it's a win-win. You don't have to worry about thinking and telling them everything up front. I will tell you, if you are on my team, we are going to start, I'm something very excited about to announce this, is we are going to start new consultant Zoom calls. If you're a new consultant, so we will go over the basics where it doesn't overwhelm them. And we are going to start doing training based on their title. So if you are a certified consultant, we are going to narrow it down to where we are training a certified consultant on how we get you to lead. If you're a lead consultant, we're going to get you training for a lead consultant, how we get you to star. So it's not over your head. It's not too much information at one, and it's just bite-sized chunks, because every day you should be working closer towards your next promotion. And if you're not getting paid at title, then let's get you paid at title first before we start conquering the next promotion. Whatever it says in the back of the catalog for the different columns on what you need for a promotion on the compensation chart. And I'm sure several of y'all look at this thinking, oh, this is so confusing. This is why we're going to break it down by titles and really cover this and the importance of being paid at title. That one's going to be coming up very soon. But whatever these numbers are, double it. So if you are a certified consultant right now and you want to be a lead consultant, it says you need to have 500 PRV, which I'm going to tell you 2,000. You should always be going for 2,000 and 2 people every single month. If you're not hitting 2,000, you need to start partying. If you're not hitting it by partying, you need to ask more people to host. It's that simple. It says you need 1 active frontline. I'm going to tell you, you need 2. If Star Consultant is for 2, you need 4. Superstar 3, you want 6. The money, I want you doubling all of that. This whole column to be able to keep track to where you will always get paid at your title. You should never be leaving money on the table. And only you can control how many people you are sponsoring personally and how many people you're talking to on a daily basis to help them get to the next promotion. That's what you can control. You can't force somebody to work that doesn't want to work. This is why my time goes with the people that are sponsoring, they are selling, and they're showing up to trainings. Like Jennifer Coral called me today, wants to have an hour meeting with me. But you know why I said yes? Is because she's here on the meetings and she shows up. If she wasn't getting on training calls, I'd probably say, I don't have time. Talk to your sponsor, but I will be there for the people that meet me halfway. I'm not going to give 51%. I'll meet you halfway. And my time is based on your effort, right? And I think that's important when you have people on your organization that you can't pull blood from a turnip, right? You're not going to convince people to just come active and get active. You need new people. It's sponsoring, it's conversations. You have to ask more people if you want to get a yes. Keep that in mind. Jamie, go ahead. She's frozen. We're going to get her new internet.
What now?
Oh, I thought you were unmuted to go. You're back.
You just said it, but I was saying last week that I think it was last week or the week before that Heather said, you want more yeses, ask more people. You're running out of people, then you need to get out more. Because I was telling how COVID, I kind of gotten okay with being at home and doing everything just like this. I've kind of been really okay with it. And that's not okay. I need to be in front of people, meeting new people, talking to more people, like what she just said. And Kimberly just asked a question. Heather, if you want to read it in the chat, but I'll give you my response immediately.
I'm so bad about reading the chat. Go ahead.
If you've done everything that you can to help her, then bless and release and move on and find new people. Plain and simple. That would be my opinion. And I don't mean that rude. I don't mean that rude at all. But if she's not wanting to make a business and you've done all you can for her, then start looking for new people. Okay. Because you don't want to waste all your energy on someone who doesn't want it. Like Heather just said, you can't get blood from a turnip. If they don't want it.
We're going to get her new internet. We're all gonna pitch in and get her a modem or something, whatever that stuff is, whatever that stuff does. Is it a modem? I don't even know.
She needs a Google Mesh. Boost her internet everywhere.
That's what I'm getting her for Christmas, a Google Mesh. She lives in the tiniest town in East Texas. This is why. Look, I think she's no returning. I think she's frozen for good.
Erin, a Google Mesh is used to amplify your internet all over. So like we had to get one because we had a trigger and they only work on Wi-Fi and it doesn't reach on our side of our house. So we had to buy it and it plugs into your main router. And so now we have them sporadic around the house. So everywhere can get touched by the internet gods.
We should have all screenshotted her face and posted on social media and tagged her. Next time that happens, we're all doing that. Oh, she's
cannot with this Wi-Fi. I cannot with this.
Oh my God. Oh, everybody screenshot it. Oh my God. Oh, y'all better have your cameras ready. This is going to be great. This is going to be the best thing ever. I'm going to get my camera ready for this. Oh, this is so good. That one was so good because your eyes were so big. Oh, I am locked in on this, frozen now. Another thing that I really think you need to do, and Kimberly Polita did the training on Jot Form on a Thursday night shift. You should be using a Jot Form. If you're not, you are missing opportunities. And I was talking with one of my new recruits, Shelby, today, and she had asked some consultants. So I let her just use my link because she hadn't sent it out yet. I said, find 5 people, because I've been telling her, I'll do your launch party. Just get me the list of names. And she went ahead and messaged, but I wasn't getting a response. And so I said, find 5 people to fill out my Jot Form. The first person that filled it out, right here, I just printed it. Would you like me to set up a personal shopping link that is good for 85 days? You can build up to get rewards, 20 and free and half price bundles. A 9 out of a 10. If you have the opportunity to get 20% back on all your purchases with zero sign-up cost, would you be interested? She said 10 out of a 10. That is a booking and a potential recruit, all from this form who she thought was not interested in anything. The form can ask the difficult questions that allows you to follow up, not crazy, not spammy, because they answered a question. Hey, I just saw that you had filled out on your form that you were interested in getting 20 to 25% back on your purchases. I'd love to sit down and chat with you about that. When is a good time? Right? Or you take it a step further, how all the companies tell you, you give them the two choices. I've got Monday or Wednesday. Is morning or afternoon better, or evening, right? It's two choices. They pick one of the two. When you're providing the choices, they pick one of the two. So yes, you can, Logan, I'll get you the form of, what I'll do is I'll put my form in the chat, just don't fill it out. So you can look at it and duplicate it, right? So there's my link to, and so at my events, I have a QR code, scan, I even put it on my fundraiser forms, on the order form. Scan if you'd like to request a sample pack. And this is what they get. I want everybody filling that out. Christina Stainbrook says you should have a jot form for everything. I saw the other day she posted on her wall, the harvest or the holiday bricks are in, who wants one? And she had a jot form to fill out a request to smell them. Genius. So I have to become better at learning jot form and figuring out how to do it. I'm still very confused on how I share it or a template. I don't know. I have the free version and I'm still learning that program. So I'll probably have to go rewatch Kimberly's training just to get that freshened up a little bit. But it's very important. So make sure you're utilizing a jot form or a Google form or Google, whatever you do. I prefer jot form now over all of that. Shopping links, sprinkle the idea. I have my notes that I was making sure. Oh, I was going to tell you how to do this and then we'll wrap it up. Go click reporting. You click view sales reports. You click customer purchase history. You can actually run the report to see which customer and how much they have spent in a time frame. So if you ever want to calculate what the PRV is and let them know, you would have had X amount of dollars back in your pocket. That's a great way to make it customized and personalized from them. There also is a document, consultant sales reports, FAQ document on the workstation. So keep that in mind. You can export it to Excel and all of that. So reporting is huge. I never was a big reporting person or numbers person. I'm learning how to use Excel and really use numbers to my benefit to help my team and who I'm watching closely. I'm becoming better at it every day. I encourage you to learn that. If you are in this organization for building a empire or building a strong group and team, you need to start watching numbers now on who are your key players and working with them and having conversations with them to get them promoted to the next level. It's all about individual conversations. You're not going to do it by the mass. Everyone's not on the same train. We're not all riding together. Everybody is different, right? So you've got to keep that in mind as well. Does anybody want to ask questions or say any info? Melissa, Jamie, Aaron, anybody?
I was just going to say that that's on my list to get that jot form because I need to update it and I need to really be implementing it and using it more because like she said, that's an automatic follow-up. That's an automatic to see if people want to join, host. That's like should be for everything. So that's on my list.
When someone fills out the jot form, like I'm familiar with Google Forms, how do you get the information? Is it like a single email with all their answers or does it consolidate it in something?
So I think it came to my email and I just printed it. Or if I log into jot form, I can see the results and I just printed it all on one sheet, the answers. It's a summary.
Yeah, it kind of summarizes it. At first, I was used to like what you're talking about, Melissa, but then when I went in there, I was like, oh, I'm overcomplicating it. And it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not complicating at all. Really, it's pretty good. I mean, the only thing I'm complicated about is sharing the template so you can just plug my number in to duplicate the form and make your necessary changes. That's what I don't know how to do. So I'm trying to figure that out.
I think when we were doing a jot form and Kimmy was talking about it on one of the shifts, I want to say that's a feature if you pay. I think
Okay.
it for you to share it, but I think for anyone else we can use it on a free one. But I want to say
Okay.
there's something mentioned.
I don't
Well,
know.
then-
I'm not sure. I feel like you can share a template without paying. You just have to make a copy of it so that you don't adjust. It's kind of like Canva, Heather. Like you have to, they have to make a copy or they're going to be messing with your original form. And I've done it before, but that's what I'm saying. I need to update my memory on how it all works, but I
do
don't
too.
think you have to pay. I could be wrong, but we can find information and clarify.
And I know on the free version, you can have 5 forms for free at a time. That's it, max 5. If you want the paid, which I think is fine. At 5, I'm fine. I have the free one now right now for 5. Anybody else? Questions, comments? I'm writing a customer's order down that just text me. So see how I mean about having order forms at all times?
Eva, let's see, I'm just reading it. So about completing the forms. I know Heather has a ton of success with this, and I've had half and half. I've had some that fill them all out perfectly, and I have a great list of people to send party packs to. And then I have some that something I have tried with I'm going to be trying this month actually with a new host, because she's not understanding the jot form. She's not understanding how to fill it. Like there's all of this, she's confused. And I'm actually going to try something. I have no idea if this will work, but I'm going to tell her to collect 10 of her friends' names and actual physical mailing address. And I'm going to send it to them. They don't have to fill out anything. I'm not sure, like, because, you know, when they fill out the form, you're able to customize it a little more. So I obviously won't have that, but I would rather be sending it to 10 people than her have a party where no one's filling out the form. Because for some people, this is still kind of a new thing. They don't understand it. They're not tech savvy. And once again, I can't tell you if this will work or not, but it's something I'm willing to try because I've had half and half. I've had some successful out of this world parties by the people who fill out the packs. And then I've had some that I can't even get 2 people to fill it out. So I'm going to try this. So that might be something you consider. I wouldn't replace it, but it would be something maybe you could consider as her to just share their names and addresses and send it to them that way, maybe. Just a thought.
So I think it's also too your hostess interaction. It's your hostess's effort that really drives this party home. And that's where hosting coaching is so important. And Ashley Goebel does an excellent job of hostess coaching. On our director chat yesterday, she was telling us she's got this great tic-tac-toe that she gives the hostess. And if she gets any form of tic-tac-toe, it's an extra prize or an extra incentive for her. So you could even customize that to where it says, get 10 people to fill out the jot form link is one of your X's, right? Or send the host pack ahead of time, where I always send a very spoiled one where it's got the instructions of take a picture of this. This is what I want you to do. And right here, it's got the little snap. This is in our Dropbox. So it gives instructions for my hostess on what to take pictures of, how to share it, as if it's all coming from her, because if it's coming from me, it's not as effective. We want it coming from the hostess. We need her doing all the posting and the interaction. So maybe relook at host coaching and maybe a call to action like this tic-tac-toe to see if that's worth doing, or make one up in advance and say, okay, 45 more minutes or 2 more hours to fill this out so you can get this in the mail. Try before you buy, right? Keywords, right? Think of things that are going to get people's attention that they will get it filled out. But I have set the precedence now. You're only getting the sample pack if you intend to make a purchase. This is not a free sample pack. It is if you intend to make a purchase, and that's what it says on my jot form. Great question. All right, anybody else? Well, this turned out to be a pretty dang good call considering I didn't know
Yes.
what the heck we were talking about.
Well, and I love it registered some reminders for me. And so
Good.
I really like that. And just to say, like what she said, hostess coaching is key. It's
Yeah.
also how I discovered this woman was just not wrapping her head around the job form. So that's very important. Learn what works for them. And like Heather said, her people are learning that if they're not intending to purchase, don't fill out the form
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, it's true. All right, guys. Well, thanks for getting on this Thursday night. We have Thursday night shift. I don't know what our topic is for Thursday night. I'm actually going to be setting up for an event, so I'll be in for my cell phone. So maybe I can we'll hang out after shift. I can flip it around and maybe show y'all some craft fair setup stuff, tips, tricks, hacks. Because my setup's from 4 to 7. So I'll be getting on the cell phone just as soon as I can pack up. We have 3 hours to set up everything. And my whole inventory goes. So y'all that have been to my house, you know what I'm up against on Thursday night.
Yes, I do.
Motrin.
Thanks for having us, Heather.
Yeah, thank y'all so much for joining. We'll see you Thursday night at 7 p.m. for Thursday night shift. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.